Hi, this is Amanda.
And this is Jen.
And you're listening to Just This, a podcast that explores everything around being and becoming a mother or parent.
We're excited to have you join us as we dive into the practical details as well as the unseen energetics on topics that span from preconception to years after birth.
All right.
We are here. Welcome.
To the Just This podcast. We wanted to take this opportunity to just introduce ourselves, talk a little bit about why we're doing this podcast, and welcome you to the space.
Yes. Just This. So I'm Jen. I go Jen, Jennifer, either one. Most people end up calling me Jen. And I am a midwife and acupuncturist and very into birth and the birthing world and supporting, just being there for people. I think that connection is really what it's all about, really connecting and listening to people.
Nice. I'm Amanda. I do work in the postpartum world, so mostly after birth, but super passionate about all things related to birth. But yeah, my focus is on the everything that unfolds after baby arrives, because it is often a forgotten part of the whole puzzle. So that is my passion. We're both moms, and that is lived experience. I think this topic is quite necessary. And we're just passionate about this topic, and here we started having these conversations. So I guess we can roll into like why we're doing this podcast. We talk all the time anyway. So we're like, let's just record it.
Yes. About specific topics. I mean, about our lives too, but specifically about topics we're passionate about.
So we thought we'd bring this podcast because we're very passionate about the topic of everything on the whole journey. That's why this podcast, the topics will cover everything from like preconception all the way through years postpartum, and just the balance of and the weaving, as Jen has explained this before, of a lot of what we're going through and learning on this journey can actually be woven into other areas of life, which I thought was a really beautiful way to describe it. And balancing of the energetics with the practical details, because often the energetics just aren't talked about, and they're a huge part of everything that happens from preconception all the way through postpartum. So
yes, absolutely. We have multiple bodies, right? We live in a physical world. We have the emotional body, we have the mental body, spiritual, and those all have to be looked at. I mean, even in medicine, like that's one thing where Western medicine lacks, is that aspect of that energetics and that spirituality and the emotional component and how it affects us physically. And I love talking to you about it because we're able to bring in the sciencey aspect of things, which I'm totally about, kind of a science geek in that way. And then also this other side, we're like, let's go meditate and like go and do some magic to the moon and, manifest stuff. So it's like, it's both, right? And because we live in that world of both. So
Jen's really got like the credentials behind her because she's an acupuncturist. I don't know if you said that before. And the midwife thing. So yeah, you've got the science, you've got the the other Eastern philosophies, and so I feel like you've got all the book cred. I've just got some life cred and a little bit of book cred behind me.
Just schooling, just sitting in front of books. That's it.
Just an ancient soul. You know it all. Cool. And just why we'll talk a little bit now about what we hope. I don't know, anything else about why you're doing this podcast that you want to bring up before we?
Yeah, I mean, I think why we did it, besides like the fact that we talk about it, is because people actually ask us about this information. So we're constantly telling them. And I mean, I think that we need to spread the knowledge, and there's just not much about there. I really feel that we both really feel passionate about the postpartum period because it's forgotten and we need a lot of support there, especially in our modern society. And I think that's how we kind of developed this. Like, let's start talking about podcasts. I'm like, hey, we know other information in the birth world too. So let's expand on that as well. And so that's why we started the podcast. And hopefully to help somebody. And as you mentioned before this recording, but is to inspire people.
Yeah, that kind of rolls into like what we hope you guys get out of this, or if you come to it. Support and insight were my two big things that I hope this podcast radiates into the world. Just a lot of times it can be, depending on your situation, a little lonely at times, or we can second guess ourselves at any point through the process. And sometimes it's just hearing that one thing from a conversation that you can be like, okay, I'm not crazy, or okay, like I was leaning the right direction, and trust your intuition a little bit more, and trust your instincts, and your inner wisdom and inner knowledge, and also just some sparks of inspiration. I was saying, you'll find out through future episodes, but Jen and I met through elimination communication, and I didn't discover that until a few weeks postpartum, because of something I heard somebody say on, I think, a podcast or something. And I was like, what is this elimination communication thing? And it totally changed a big part of our postpartum journey and what we were doing with our daughter. So we hope sometimes things that we say here spark a little bit of insight into something maybe you want to explore further, and that really can change the trajectory of the direction you're going and whatever you're doing. So
Absolutely. And at least even open your mind to the possibilities, and know that parenting is not perfect or Instagram beautiful. I think that's the main thing. Yeah. And
we're real here on the podcast.
We're very
probably
real.
not going to be Instagram beautiful here. So
I don't think so. It's not really, that's the whole point of the name too. Like just this, like, I felt like it just kind of was like, yeah, here it is. There it is.
Yep.
Just this, kind of like throw it out the, throw it down. Like we're going to get real and raw here and try not to cuss. That's my problem.
I'm not even trying that. So we're
raw
raw. We'll just keep it at that.
Okay. Yeah. Raw. And I hope that the vibe is just, you come, you get to listen, and just kind of just take it easy, and not, and through the relaxation and just enjoying the process, you get all the information that you need. And if you feel you need more, you can re-listen to the podcast. And like Amanda says, yeah, re-talk to us. That's even better. I would like that. And as Amanda said, hopefully, like on all my births that I've attended, there's always so many lessons in them that I can take and expand out into life. And so I think that's both of our hopes through this too, is that even if we're talking about, say, EC or the postpartum period, like the first week or two after, whatever, there's something there that maybe inspires you and can change your trajectory in your journey, or just be open to new things that will eventually change your trajectory down the line. Or even like, hey, I was talking to a friend, I just heard this crazy podcast, you should listen to it, and help someone else out maybe even. So yeah, that's my hope too.
We make connections in our conversations too about how things relate on a bigger webbed out level. So
yes,
yeah, hopefully those inspire you, and you can, I don't know, grab some of those aha moments. So.
And I think too, the big thing too, is I learned so much from so many people. Like no matter how much knowledge you have, I think you can be the smartest person, most, the person to go to on a topic, and like there's still always so much to learn, and I'm constantly learning. So I hope to like learn through our community as well, and through your comments and our communications. And I think that's what we need. We need that circle and that community to learn from each other and appreciate our differences, but also grow from them.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yay.
All right. Well, we're excited to see you guys on future episodes. If you do want to reach out or have any questions, we'd love that. Please contact us directly. You can find our website in the show notes, or you'll hear it on the outro. And yeah, we're looking forward to some more fun combos.
Yes. Keeping it raw.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Hey there, amazing listeners. We just want to say a huge thank you for tuning into our convo on the Just This podcast today. We appreciate each and every one of our listeners, and your continued support means the world to us.
If you enjoyed this episode and found value in it, we would be incredibly grateful if you could take a moment to leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform or share this episode with someone you think would enjoy it too. Your reviews and shares not only motivate us, but they also help others discover our show.
We're also all about keeping the conversation going and hanging out with our incredible community. Head over to justthis.site, that's justhis.site, where you'll find additional resources, ways to connect with us, and join the conversation, plus some more goodies.
Thank you again for being a part of the Just This community. We'll be back soon. Until next time, remember to take care of yourself and embrace the wonder as you navigate this extraordinary adventure.